Welcome to Raul Effect, where we explore the hidden psychology of attraction, emotional connection, and the deeper patterns behind avoidant behavior and relationships. Have you ever wondered why chasing an avoidant person often makes them pull away even more? The truth is, the more you understand their emotional patterns, the more you realize that pressure is not what creates connection. In this video, we uncover the powerful qualities that make an avoidant feel safe, curious, and naturally drawn closer to you. When dealing with an avoidant partner, many common relationship strategies can create the opposite result of what you want. The more you chase, the more they often feel the need to create distance. The more pressure you place on them to define the relationship, the more likely they are to retreat. And when you try to force certainty before they are emotionally ready, the connection can disappear before it has the chance to grow. The reason this happens is because most people misunderstand avoidant behavior. Avoidant individuals are not always afraid of love or commitment itself. What they often fear is losing their independence inside a relationship that feels overwhelming, controlling, or emotionally exhausting. Their hesitation is usually not a reflection of a lack of feelings. It is often connected to past experiences where closeness felt unsafe, restrictive, or emotionally heavy. Once you understand this, your entire approach changes. Commitment is no longer something you need to convince them to accept. Instead, it becomes something they naturally begin moving toward because the relationship feels different. It feels like a place where they can experience both connection and freedom. Avoidant attraction often follows a unique pattern. They are usually drawn to people who have their own identity, their own purpose, and the ability to stand strong without constant emotional dependence. They are not searching for someone who needs them to feel complete. They are drawn to someone who chooses them while already being whole. They become interested in people who have confidence, emotional balance, and a sense of mystery. Not because of games or manipulation, but because these qualities represent emotional security. A person who knows themselves creates a different type of connection. The goal is never to control an avoidant person or find tricks to make them stay. The real goal is becoming someone they genuinely feel safe building a future with. There are certain psychological qualities that completely change the way you connect with avoidant individuals. Instead of constantly trying to prove your worth, you allow your value to be naturally recognized. Instead of chasing their attention, you create a dynamic where they feel motivated to come closer. The first powerful quality is emotional independence. Nothing attracts an avoidant more than someone who is emotionally grounded within themselves. This does not mean acting cold or pretending you do not care. It means your happiness, confidence, and identity do not disappear when someone becomes distant. Avoidants are often deeply attracted to people who have their own emotional foundation. People who can handle their feelings without needing constant reassurance. People who already have a meaningful life before the relationship begins. This becomes especially important when an avoidant partner pulls away. Instead of immediately panicking, sending endless messages, or trying to figure out what went wrong, you remain centered. You continue focusing on your own life. You invest in your goals, friendships, interests, and personal growth. You allow them the space to process their emotions without making their distance a crisis. This type of emotional stability can feel incredibly attractive because it removes one of the biggest fears avoidant people often experience: feeling responsible for someone else's emotional state. Many relationships become overwhelming for avoidant individuals because they start feeling like they must constantly manage their partner's emotions. They feel pressured to provide endless reassurance, explain every action, or prevent every possible disappointment. But when you are emotionally secure, that pressure disappears. They do not feel responsible for keeping you happy. They do not feel trapped by the fear that needing space will create emotional chaos. True emotional independence takes personal growth. It requires healing old patterns, creating goals that belong to you, maintaining meaningful connections outside the relationship, and becoming comfortable with your own company. When your emotional peace is no longer controlled by someone else's behavior, something changes. You become attractive because you are complete within yourself. This does not mean becoming unavailable or distant. It means being warm and caring while still maintaining your own identity. You appreciate their presence, but you do not lose yourself without it. You enjoy having them in your life, but you are also capable of enjoying your life when they are not around. Another quality that creates attraction is expressing your needs without turning them into emotional pressure. You can tell someone you would like to spend time together without making their response a reflection of your value. You can communicate disappointment without expecting them to repair your emotions. You can be honest while still respecting their emotional space. For many avoidant people, this feels refreshing because it creates a relationship environment that feels peaceful instead of demanding. One of the greatest benefits of emotional independence is that it reveals true intentions. When you stop operating from fear and neediness, people who only wanted comfort or convenience often disappear. But people who genuinely value you become more willing to invest. The second powerful quality is having clear boundaries supported by consistent actions. Avoidant individuals are often more responsive to healthy boundaries than many people realize. These are not punishments, threats, or attempts to control someone. Real boundaries are calm decisions that protect your own peace. Many people claim to have standards, but they abandon those standards the moment they are challenged. This creates confusion because their words and actions do not match. Healthy boundaries work differently. They are not about changing another person. They are about deciding how you will respond to certain behaviors. For example, if someone repeatedly cancels plans at the last moment, an unhealthy response is endless arguments, emotional reactions, and repeated chances without any change. A healthy boundary is different. You simply stop arranging your life around unreliable behavior. You adjust your actions without drama, anger, or attempts to force them to change. The same applies when someone consistently disrespects your time by arriving late. Instead of creating a fight, you calmly value yourself. You continue with your plans and do not allow someone else's choices to control your entire day. If the topic comes up later, your message remains simple and respectful. Your time matters, and you choose relationships where mutual respect exists. Boundaries create clarity. They show that you can love someone while still honoring yourself. And that balance is often what allows an avoidant person to feel both attraction and emotional safety. When you respect your own time and follow through with your standards, you create a sense of reliability. That consistency builds trust because your actions become predictable and emotionally stable. Avoidant individuals often feel overwhelmed by unpredictable emotional situations, so clear boundaries provide a sense of structure without making them feel controlled. The same principle applies to communication. You do not constantly monitor their replies or allow their availability to determine your mood. You continue focusing on your own responsibilities, routines, and goals while allowing them the freedom to meet you with the same level of effort. Strong boundaries are powerful because they demonstrate self-respect through behavior, not just words. Anyone can say they value themselves, but far fewer people consistently live according to those values. When your actions match your standards, you naturally communicate confidence without needing to prove anything. That quiet confidence sends a powerful message. It shows strength without aggression, independence without emotional distance, and self-worth without arrogance. Most importantly, it creates a relationship dynamic where both people understand that love should come from genuine choice, not pressure, fear, or obligation. When your boundaries are supported by consistent action, something important begins to change. The exhausting pattern of chasing and withdrawing that often appears in avoidant relationships starts losing its power. There is less emotional tension, fewer attempts to prove who cares more, and less confusion created by constant shifts between closeness and distance. Because you remain connected to your own values regardless of their behavior, the relationship stops being controlled by emotional reactions. Instead, it becomes based on mutual decisions and genuine desire. This creates a powerful shift. Instead of focusing on conflict or uncertainty, an avoidant person is left with a simple question. Do I truly want to build something with this person? That kind of clarity can be rare for someone with avoidant tendencies. And the important thing to understand is that your boundaries are not meant to punish them. They are not created to make them feel guilty or force them to change. Your boundaries exist because you respect your own emotional well-being. You are not trying to control their choices. You are simply choosing how you will participate. If they are willing to meet you with respect and consistency, the connection has room to grow. If they are not, you continue protecting your own peace. That energy feels safe because it does not come from control. It communicates emotional maturity, confidence, and self-respect. Over time, an avoidant person may begin seeing you differently. Instead of experiencing you as another source of pressure, they begin recognizing you as someone who brings stability. Instead of seeing someone who constantly needs reassurance, they see someone who already understands their own value. Instead of seeing someone who falls apart when things become difficult, they see someone who remains calm during uncomfortable moments. That emotional steadiness can be deeply attractive because many avoidant individuals secretly desire consistency, even when part of them struggles with closeness. Another powerful attraction trigger is maintaining a sense of mystery. Avoidant people often lose curiosity when they feel they already understand everything about someone. Their interest is naturally stimulated by discovery, depth, and the feeling that there are still new layers to uncover. This does not mean pretending to be unavailable or hiding parts of yourself. It does not mean creating confusion or playing emotional games. Real mystery comes from allowing someone to discover you naturally over time. Instead of revealing every detail about your past, your fears, your dreams, and your experiences all at once, you allow those parts of yourself to appear through genuine moments of connection. When they ask about your life, you share meaningful pieces without turning every conversation into a complete biography. Each interaction becomes another chance for them to understand something new about you. And that process of discovery creates anticipation. Anticipation keeps attraction alive. True mystery also comes from having a life that is already full. Maybe you have interests people would never expect. Maybe you enjoy experiences, hobbies, or passions that reveal different sides of your personality. Maybe there are parts of you that only appear when trust grows deeper. The important thing is that it must be authentic. You are not trying to appear interesting. You simply allow the natural complexity of who you are to unfold. The same applies to your achievements and experiences. You do not need to present yourself like a list of accomplishments. You allow people to discover your qualities naturally. Maybe they discover a talent you never mentioned. Maybe they learn about something meaningful you achieved without you needing recognition for it. These unexpected moments create positive surprise, and positive surprise keeps curiosity alive. Your personal life outside the relationship also matters. When someone knows you have friendships, passions, and goals beyond them, they understand that your world is not built around one person. But you also do not need to explain every detail of your life. When they ask about your day or weekend, you share enough to connect while still maintaining your own privacy. This is not secrecy. It is healthy individuality. The strongest form of mystery comes from genuine depth. Your experiences, beliefs, emotions, and perspectives create layers that cannot be fully understood in a few conversations. The more depth you develop within yourself, the longer there is something meaningful to discover. Even your personality can continue revealing new sides. They may discover your playful nature during one moment, your thoughtful side during another, or your adventurous spirit in a completely unexpected situation. These discoveries keep emotional interest alive because the connection continues evolving. The same gradual process applies to intimacy. Emotional trust, attraction, and closeness become stronger when they develop naturally rather than being rushed. Each stage creates a deeper level of understanding. The key is balance. You are not hiding yourself. You are simply allowing deeper parts of your world to be earned through trust, time, and genuine connection. When an avoidant person feels there is always something more to learn about you, their curiosity remains active. And curiosity is one of the strongest foundations of lasting attraction. Another powerful quality is staying calm when they become emotionally overwhelmed. Few things impact an avoidant person more than being around someone who remains grounded during moments when they feel internally conflicted. Many people respond to distance with fear, frustration, anger, or desperation. But when you respond with patience and emotional stability, you create a completely different experience. When they enter a phase where they need space, you do not immediately assume the relationship is falling apart. You do not chase endlessly for explanations. You do not demand constant reassurance. Instead, you stay connected to yourself while allowing them room to process their emotions. Because you understand something important. Their need for space is not always a rejection of you. Sometimes it is simply their way of managing feelings that feel overwhelming. And when you can remain steady through those moments, you show them that connection does not have to mean losing freedom. It can also mean feeling safe. When an avoidant person creates distance, it is important to understand that their withdrawal is often connected to what is happening inside them, not a measurement of your worth. Once you understand this, you stop taking every moment of distance personally. You remain calm while others become overwhelmed by fear and uncertainty. This emotional control becomes especially powerful when an avoidant partner unconsciously creates tension through conflict. Sometimes small disagreements are not really about the surface issue. They can be a reflection of deeper emotions that feel difficult for them to express directly. Instead of getting trapped in the argument itself, you learn to look beneath it. You recognize that the real issue may be fear, discomfort, or emotional overwhelm, rather than the specific disagreement happening in that moment. When you do not react impulsively, something changes. Their defenses often begin to lower because they no longer feel like they need to protect themselves from emotional chaos. One of the greatest things your calmness creates is a sense of emotional safety. When an avoidant person is already struggling with fears around closeness, commitment, or vulnerability, adding more emotional pressure can make them retreat even further. But when you remain steady, you give them the space to process their feelings without feeling responsible for managing yours as well. Your confidence is also revealed through the way you handle inconsistent communication. If they become quieter or take longer to respond, you do not immediately panic. You do not send endless messages searching for reassurance. You continue living your own life, focusing on your responsibilities, goals, and personal growth. That patience communicates something powerful. It shows that your emotional stability does not depend on their constant attention. Your calm presence can also influence the emotional atmosphere between you. When they become overwhelmed, you do not match their anxiety. You remain thoughtful. You listen carefully. You communicate with patience instead of reacting with frustration. Over time, they begin connecting your presence with peace rather than pressure. One of the strongest signs of confidence is refusing to participate in unhealthy patterns. If they create distance through unnecessary conflict or emotional confusion, you do not add fuel to the cycle. You remain caring without becoming desperate. You stay firm without becoming cold. You stay connected without abandoning yourself. Even when they move between moments of closeness and distance, your inner stability remains consistent. You appreciate their affection when they offer it, but you do not depend on it to feel secure. That emotional foundation is often what an avoidant person has been searching for without even realizing it. When they pull away, you do not respond by becoming distant or resentful. You remain respectful, kind, and emotionally available, but you also avoid chasing, begging, or punishing them for needing space. This teaches them something important. Connection does not have to disappear whenever discomfort appears. For many avoidant individuals, this can be a completely different experience. They begin to see that a relationship can remain stable even during moments of uncertainty. What makes this attractive is that you demonstrate qualities many people struggle to develop. You remain grounded when things feel unclear. You trust yourself without needing constant validation. You can experience deep emotions without losing your identity. Instead of being pulled into their uncertainty, you show them what emotional stability looks like. Another powerful attraction factor is creating a life that feels meaningful outside the relationship. Many people make the mistake of allowing the relationship to become their entire world. Their happiness, plans, and priorities become dependent on the other person's availability. But true attraction grows when your life already has purpose. You continue investing in friendships, personal goals, passions, and experiences that make you feel alive. Your life has movement, and people are naturally drawn to someone who is growing. When they want your attention, you do not abandon everything else. You value your commitments because your life matters beyond the relationship. A healthy connection should add to your life, not become the only thing that gives your life meaning. Whether you are developing a career, learning something new, improving yourself, building something important, or exploring new experiences, your sense of purpose makes you more attractive. Not because you are trying to appear unavailable, but because you are genuinely fulfilled. That kind of confidence cannot be created through an act. It comes from actually enjoying who you are, appreciating your own company, and building a life you respect. Avoidant people are often drawn to this because it represents the emotional independence they secretly desire. Your time becomes valuable because it comes from a full life. You are not always waiting for them. And when you choose to spend time together, that choice feels meaningful. Another important quality is being at peace with their timeline. Many people become consumed by questions about the future. They constantly wonder when commitment will happen, where the relationship is going, or whether they will eventually be chosen. But that anxiety often creates the very pressure that makes avoidant individuals retreat. Emotional security looks different. You know what you want. You can communicate your desires honestly, but you do not try to force a specific outcome before it naturally develops. You understand that real commitment cannot be created through pressure. If someone has to be convinced to choose you, then their choice is not coming from true desire. So you remain patient, but not passive. You can talk about the future without demanding guarantees. You can express what matters to you without making someone feel trapped. When pressure disappears, people often become more capable of understanding what they truly feel. Your ability to handle uncertainty shows emotional maturity. You appreciate the connection you have today without constantly needing proof about tomorrow. Most importantly, you are willing to accept whatever answer comes. If they choose to build something deeper with you, that is a beautiful outcome. If they do not, you still continue creating a meaningful and fulfilling life. Ironically, this freedom often creates the very commitment people try so hard to force. When commitment becomes a choice instead of an obligation, it becomes much more powerful. Real attraction is not created through chasing, convincing, or trying to earn someone's love. It develops when someone encounters a person who is secure, self-respecting, emotionally balanced, and genuinely fulfilled. Someone whose presence feels peaceful. Someone whose love feels steady. Someone who already knows their own value. At the end of the day, attracting an avoidant person is not about finding the perfect strategy to make them stay. It is about becoming deeply grounded in yourself, maintaining healthy boundaries, building a fulfilling life, and allowing connection to grow naturally. When you stop making commitment the only goal and start focusing on your own emotional strength, everything changes. The right person will not feel forced to choose you. They will choose you because they feel safe, respected, and inspired by the person you already are. Because true commitment is never created through pressure. It grows through freedom, trust, respect, and the undeniable attraction of someone who knows their own worth. Attracting an avoidant person is not about chasing harder, proving your worth, or trying to force someone to choose you. The strongest connection comes when you become secure within yourself, protect your peace, and allow love to develop naturally. When you lead with confidence, emotional stability, and self-respect, you create the kind of presence that feels safe, rare, and deeply attractive. True commitment is never built through pressure. It grows when two people freely choose each other. If this video helped you understand avoidant behavior and the deeper psychology of attraction, make sure to like this video, subscribe to, and stay connected for more insights on relationships, emotional patterns, and building stronger connections.